Hello and welcome back to another episode of Building a Clone Base. Today's video is the 25th episode of Building a Clone Base. Last week we worked a lot on the inside, we built these two rooms, worked a lot on the conference room, made this back pillar, fixed the rock work, lots of things done. And today's episode is all about getting our roof. As you guys know, we have a big clone base inside a mountain and we want to make a top of the mountain and put some really nice scenery on top of it. So we need to start making a frame to build that on. We are going to work in two levels. First one is this level. It will be the height that the mountain is right about now, and it will go this whole section. And the second one will be the height of this, and it will go all the way across over there. Of course, there's gonna be a height difference between these two, so we are still going to add another section of rockwork that moves along this side to the top of this area. So you might be wondering how we are going to do that. And well, we have a really big order that we put in, and we'll get into that right now.
So guys, another bricklink order just came in. This should be one of the last orders to finish off this base. Like you guys can see, it's a lot of stuff for the inside and for the roof of the base. We have a shit ton of these 16 by 16 base plates for the roof, so that will be very exciting to build that roof finally, make it look beautiful, put some grass on it, because we also bought some grass plants in this order, so that's pretty nice. Other than that, we have a lot of stuff for our satellite dish / com tower. We will see what we can achieve with the pieces we have right now, because we don't have a clue if we are gonna be able to make a full satellite dish or something, but we're gonna see where we end up. But I basically have these very handy pieces, and in combination with these pieces, like just think about the Eiffel Tower, for example, for the people that know that building, we're gonna make something like that as a communication tower. I bought all the right pieces for it, so I think it's just a matter of experimenting with it. Other than that, some more tiles, some handy pieces here and there. So without anything further to say, let's continue building.
I think that we have put these 16 by 16 plates to good use, guys. As you can see, we made one really big roof section and then another bit smaller roof section. As you guys already know from the introduction, over here we are gonna need to recreate some more rock work. And then over this side I already started laying up the ground layer basically. So we're gonna go for another grass section. We're most likely going to incorporate some more reddish brown and create some more of those bush type sections. We're not completely certain just yet how we are going to do that, but that's the main idea. For now we'll start working on that little one, because even though it's a smaller section, it's kind of the most important one, because if we make this one, we can start working on the rock section, and then we have a better understanding of how we are going to make the transition between the two. Been working for a couple of solid hours, and this is the progress that I've managed to make for the roof for the big one. Of course, there are still some very straight lines over here, but this is just the basic outline. We still need to add a ton more details. This is like the first level of detailing, but we still need to add a bit more to make it look way more clean, like this one over here. You can see little cutouts on the back end. That is because we still have two more 16 by 16 plates over here. These two will stay connected to the base, just because we like some nice strong foundations for when we eventually build something on top over here. And then if I go underneath, you can see that Max is still building on the second roof part. You can see that we are using dark tan. That's because we want to make a nice transition, as you guys can see, between dark tan from the more alien, vibrant plant life over to the more normal plants that we are used to seeing in our own day-to-day life. So we are going for a nice smooth transition. So yeah, that's basically what we've done so far. I'm gonna continue building on this, and I'll show you guys what progress I can make. you guys saw in the time lapse, I did some more work on this area. Meanwhile, Max worked on this section. As you guys can see, this is looking like rather smooth and it's alright. We're probably gonna add some more of these little tentacles over here to cover this area a bit up. Then we have a little raise in terrain. This will continue a bit more down there. And then the hardest part is gonna come, and that's basically trying to connect these two with rockwork. Like, we don't have the craziest amount of rockwork left, neither do we have a clean dark gray left to make a back wall. So it's gonna be a bit of a struggle and we're gonna need to find some alternative ways to make it work, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. But yeah, I won't be time-lapsing this area because I feel like it's gonna be more tearing things apart than building. So I'll show you guys an update when I have one. We just laid down the whole base layer. As you guys can see, I cut a line over here. That's because around this area we're going to build the back wall. Not completely certain just yet how we're going to do it, but that's the way it's looking so far. Then when we move over to that side, you can already see that I have begun building the mountain. I feel like the transition is rather smooth between those two. And if you look closely, you can see a little gap, but that's basically because we have here one base plate. Then we have another base plate over here that's connected to this. And then we have this section of rockwork that's on the roof section. So between those three bricks, there's three different modular pieces where rockwork is being built on. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, I'm just trying to recreate what I did over there to the best of my ability over here. And it's looking really nice for now. Next thing that I will do is what I've been doing so far over here, and that's basically laying on the rockwork loose. I'm planning to do this just to see how far I can get with the rockwork that we have left, and then for the gaps that are still there when all the rockwork is used up, I will be incorporating some type of man-made structure. This is the idea that I've come up with. It's some sort of, I don't know, like a ventilation system that you put on the outside to get more fresh air inside or something. Not completely certain yet if this is the final design that I'll be using, but yeah, this is the best that I've come up with so far. I can make a couple of those, like maybe 3 or 4, and I think it would look nice if you give some space between them. But yeah, guys, I'll continue working on this. It's just a lot of playing around, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. So I'm not gonna keep you too bothered, and I'll show you guys the progress that I managed to make. I have got another update for you guys. As you guys can see, I kinda made the whole layout for this big section. Already worked a ton on the left hand rockwork and the right hand side for the rockwork. And basically the way that I set this up, I don't need that much rockwork anymore. We have the 4 ventilation pieces over there. And then I actually made, as you can see, a really simplistic but nice looking wall detail. We'll be setting it off on a little angle so that it's more in line with these slopes. And that basically makes that we don't need any rockwork to fill in these gaps apart from underneath the wall and above the wall. So yeah guys, that's gonna save us quite a lot of rockwork and we don't have a crazy amount left. So that's actually really nice. Now I'll quickly put this back on the mock and then you have a better idea of how it's going to look. This is the way that it's going to look, and I think that it's rather nicely fitting. We made sure that we still have a little bit of space in terms of height and width. That way we can make this transition look as smooth as we possibly can. And yeah, I think it's gonna be really nice. You see the 4 big holes for the vents, just like that one. Maybe that will give you guys a bit better of an idea. I'll put it over here real quick. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going for, and I think it's gonna look really sweet when I get it to work. So yeah, I'll just give another update when I've hopefully finished that whole section. And I have another update. I put the 2 roof base plates already on the mock so that it looks a little cleaner for you guys. As you guys can see, I finished these 3 wall sections and I also installed those 4 sections. I just need to make a couple more of these, but I'm missing some pieces, so I'll do that whenever I get those. Now it's just a matter of thinking about how we're going to connect those, and as well, if we go look at the back side, I need to figure out a way to hide all of that. I'm not completely sure yet how I'm going to tackle it, but I'm pretty confident in my ability to make it work. So I'll start thinking about how I'm going to do the backside, and I'll give you guys an update whenever I've got one. I told you guys that I would start working on the back wall for this whole roof section, and I came to the conclusion that I'm going to make it snot, so that's not on top, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a big greebling area. We haven't really done a lot of it in the mock, like we have done it a couple times, but nothing too crazy. And the first thing that I've come up with are these things. Of course, they aren't finished at all, it's just the first rough sketch. But basically, since on the outside over here, we have like these big ventilation systems or something, I figured that it would make sense to have one of these units at the same spot where there is one vent. So I've made 4 of them, since there are 4 of those sections, and I think it will look really nice when it's finished. For now I'm just gonna play around a bit and maybe make one section complete already, so that you guys have a better idea of how I want to make this. We just put all the roof sections on the mock, and I hope that you guys are liking the way that it's turning out. I'm very happy with how it's looking so far. As you guys can see, I finished all 4 of these things. I changed it up so the 2 middle ones are the same and then the 2 outer ones are the same, just to have a little change in the way that everything is looking. Then the big one, looking really clean as well. We added 1 brown patch because of course we want to do some more interesting bush designs, etc. on this area. And then if we go underneath, you guys can see that the backdrop is also installed, and it looks rather nice in my opinion. So what is left for us to do? Basically make this connection. When that is done, it's just about adding grass, adding detailing, and making it look beautiful like all the other pieces of our mock. So I've been working on this, adding quite a couple of green grass pieces. I thought I did a nice time lapse, but apparently camera wasn't rolling, so my apologies guys. I'll do a quick time lapse whilst adding some brown over here and creating some brown patches, as well as trying to get a bit of plant life in this dark tan area, so that way I can still treat you guys with the time lapse. As you saw at the end of the time lapse, we finished this whole roof section, apart from, of course, the connection between the bigger one and the smaller one. But in terms of plant life, this is probably final for this section. Honestly guys, I feel like it looks really nice. I might add a couple more of these alien pieces on like the edges to make the transition a bit clearer, because now it's a bit of a hard line. But besides that, I really like the look of it. Coming over to the bigger one, I'm gonna start working on this one, and I'll treat you guys with another time lapse of me putting on grass pieces, getting the little details in these patches right, and just overall trying to make it look as good as all the other pieces of the mock. So yeah, let's jump into that time lapse. Another quick update for you guys. After a time lapse, you saw that I finished all of these little details. Now the only thing left for me is to get my brass studs and put them all across this base and make it look as clean as this side over here. Whilst I was doing that, you can also see that Max did some more work, and the rock work is getting there. We basically made a transition everywhere except for that little area. We still need to finish that, but this is looking really good. Now we just need to make the plates and get a look that's something like that, but not completely like that, and make it look really clean. So yeah, just a couple more quick time lapses and we can wrap up this episode, guys. As you saw in the time-lapse, I added all the grass stems and a couple of extra detailed patches. Really like the way this turned out, and with that time-lapse being done, we have basically come to the end of this week's episode. Of course, there's still more work to be done. As you guys can see, we need to get this transition right, as well as get that little corner fixed, but we will do that in another time. We won't show it in an episode because it's just some minor detailing and it doesn't feel important enough, so we'll do that behind the scenes, so that you guys don't need to waste your time looking at us fiddling around with those pieces. Next week episode we will be finishing the inside of the base with some more lights, as well as adding a couple lights on the top of the mock. So yeah, it's another lights episode. I hope that you guys will enjoy it, because we like making our mocks light up, and it's always interesting, I think, to let you guys see how that actually works. Then we have only one more episode to go after that one, and that episode is going to be about vehicles and minifigures. You already know one big vehicle that's gonna be in our mock, and that's the UT80, but we have a couple more cool ones that you'll be really happy to see, and we also have a ton of minifigures to get into, so those we'll leave for then. It's gonna be a really cool episode, quite a couple unexpected things perhaps for some of you, so yeah, stay tuned for that. And if you are thinking that this mock isn't cool enough just yet, then I have a couple surprises for you. For the finale we will be adding some extra things that you can't see right now. One of them is over there. Those two 16x16 base plates still need to be finished, and we'll add something really cool over there, as well as something else really nice somewhere in that area. So yeah, keep tuned for that. And of course we also finished our really big trees a couple episodes ago, but we didn't give them their big details just yet, so you'll also need to wait to see that for the finale, guys. Anyways, this is the end of this week's episode. I hope that you guys had a great day and that you enjoyed this video. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, so that you don't miss the finale of this epic mock. And with that all being said, goodbye guys and take care.